Hello and welcome. I have to apologize to you guys because originally you guys were supposed to be getting a really cool video of this awesome thing I made for my son, and it was the Little Red Riding Hood with the wolf comic that I made. That's actually a huge collage I made, and even has like really cool like pull out parts from the original work that I restored, but that video corrupted. I'm so sorry. So I had made it from scratch. It was on a bunch of like, originally all the pieces were on just like random papers, like kind of like this in a way, like they were on like these little cloth papers that you get from like sometimes you can find them at thrift stores, sometimes you can find them at consignment auctions, different stuff like that, but it just didn't work out. So instead we're gonna do an Easter collage, I think. And I was enabled by Dee Dee Willingham and friends to get these really cool circle canvases, because she's always using like circle canvases, so I thought that could be really cool. And I took out a couple photos, like I took out one for a big one and then one for a smaller one, and this was actually I believe Mason's grandmother Hickson's teacher. So her name was Ruth Hickson, and this is Annie Marley, which was her teacher. My husband gave me permission to use some of the people that he didn't know who they were in collages to kind of give them a new lease on life. And this woman's very beautiful, so I thought maybe she could go on one of the smaller ones. And then this little girl that I found for $2.50. It says girl old fashioned sepia, $2.50. So maybe put her on one of those. But I thought, excuse me, that could be pretty nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this out of the package that it came in. That way we can take a better look at the little girl. Yes, this is the little girl that I want to use. And then for this one, this is like glued on the back of this, I think. So I don't know if I will be able to peel it up or if it'll rip off or what will happen here. But this one I might have to play with a little bit. Like I might have to actually cut it and see if it comes down. So let's go ahead and gently start cutting. And even if it doesn't, it can just be thick where she is. I don't really mind that. I know some people definitely do, but I'm not one of those people. So it's not gonna bother me any. Okay, so there we go for her. But she was a very lovely woman, so I just thought that we could use her in an art piece. And I'm sure she's dead by now, so, you know, maybe that kind of honors her memory a little bit. And I'll keep her name up here, that way I can write it on the back. Yeah, this is pretty thick, so we'll just have to be kind of careful. Here we go. And then maybe just to make it match a little bit, we'll just kind of curve it in like that. I don't think that looks too bad. Get like a little bit next to her face. Here we go. So yeah, so we've got her, and this is really thick, as you can see. So this will pop off a bit, which is fine. And then we've got this little girl here, which I'll cut out too. I haven't decided if I wanted her whole body or not. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut her out with the whole body first and just kind of see how that fits on a circle, and if it doesn't work out, don't worry about it. like this old paper though. I wish that more things were made with it. Like, I don't know if that's what it meant by sepia or not, but some of these older ones have this kind of like soft paper and it's like really thin. And I like it a lot. It's very easy to work with. Really easier to cut. Okay, so something like that. All right, and at Hobby Lobby right now, these are on sale. So it looks like this circle that I got is $3.29 right now, and then this one right here is $4.49. Excuse me, I didn't mean to snort so loud. Actually, before I started this video, I was trying to work on another video where I was trying to make watercolor with dandelion paint, because my son had done a really pretty painting that had dandelion paint, but it did not work out at all. And I couldn't figure out how to redo that. So his school did a really great job because I couldn't figure it out. So I'll probably be experimenting with that throughout spring or throughout dandelion season to try and figure out if I can figure out how to make that dandelion watercolor, because I thought I would just muddle it and soak it in, and that did not really work. So it's kind of interesting that way. And I tried doing it with a couple of different weeded plants and it just wouldn't work, and so I got frustrated and stopped doing it. Because then it just became me muddling around in a bunch of mess. And I was starting to sneeze and it was just getting a little wild. Alright, so let's see here. We've got this canvas. I know for sure I want this one on that. I know for sure I want this one over here. So let me just get the rest of this paper off. I took out two bigger pieces of flowers for them too. We'll probably add more, but I thought, you know, this was really pretty. So, you know, something like that maybe. Or we can even cut that one off and just make it two and flop this flower over here. You know, something like that. And I was thinking I could tear up some of this for the background for her. I think that'll look really pretty. And then for her, I think we're gonna do these flowers. So I'm gonna set these out of the way. We're gonna do the bigger one first, just because I think it will be easier. So I'm gonna set her to the side. And then what I'm gonna do is gonna rip it apart. I'm just gonna do a whole bunch of different rips, and then we're gonna play around and see what works and what doesn't. So I'm just gonna rip it all up into little pieces with no rhyme or real reason, so that way we can get, you know, some fun different ideas in here. I'm gonna try to get rid of any corners I see too, because we are working with a circle here, so we don't want any corners. Okay. let's see here. I really like that. I think that's really pretty, so we'll keep that one. Get rid of that corner a bit. Let's see, what else do we have here that looks pretty? This is pretty. A triangular piece. Let's see. Just trying to get an idea of what looks nice and what doesn't. And that's a very pretty piece. Maybe put that one up top, maybe. Because I gotta think about it a little bit, because part of this is going to be covered, or a big part. Like some of this might not even show through. Let's see. I don't know if I want a butterfly in it. Maybe we can start with these pieces and see how we go. Okay, so I've got that. And then let's see what kind of glue we want to do. We'll do our Elmer's glue first, and then we'll matte medium over top of it. And then with these other pieces of paper, I do have a bag of just like scrap papers. So I can just put that in with the scraps. Let me find my scrap bag. And the scrapbook bag that I have is literally just random, like torn up bits of paper. Oh, here it is. So it just looks like this. And I can put the rest of those scraps in there in case I want to use them later. No need to waste the paper. Okay, so I've got that there. All right, then I'm gonna zoom in a bit so you can see what I'm doing. We'll start here. I'm just gonna do it around the edges first with a big old gloopy gloop, and then I'm gonna go around with my thumb and lay it down. Gloop, gloop, gloop. That in. Let's place that something like that. You can use a card, whatever you want to scrape that down if you need to. This paper is thick enough, I'm not really seeing any bubbles on it, so I'm not making a big deal about it. Okay, so I've got that. And then I'm going to do this one like right about here-ish. Looks like there's a little bit of dirt on that page, but that's okay because it's going to go under, so we're not going to see it. Just going to put that part right here. So I think that's where that's going to look nice at. Just like that. And I've got this last piece I'm going to put like that. What was that? Oh, that was a rubber band. Flinging rubber bands. All right, so we're going to do that. Uh-oh, we did get a little piece that popped up there. Pop back down, bro. There we go. Just like that. Just gonna rub it in. Just like that. And then pop her in place. Okay, just like that. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little paint tray and we're gonna get some pink, maybe a lighter cream color like this. So I'm gonna put this light cream there. And this is light pink with Liquitex. And we'll do that one. We'll do the regular pink. Where's the regular pink? Here it is. This is called medium magenta, but to me that's just pink. So I'm gonna do that there. And then I'm gonna do a gold. Let's see. It's a good gold. I do have this one. It's just like a metallic gold. I think that would be good. The gold I'm gonna wait until the end because I'm gonna actually, or wait until I put the rest of the colors on because I'm gonna stripe that across. I think that would look cool. So I'm just gonna take my fingers and dip it in these pinks and start pinking it up. Just to give it a cool background. There's a little piece there that's not popped down all the way. Keep that in mind. And we need some more paint. Didn't quite get enough. Or if I did, it's mostly on my fingers. Okay. There we go, because I want it to be really pretty and thick. I also want that other pink to pop through a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so that looks really pretty like that. Yeah, I think that looks really good. So I'm just gonna go wash my hands real quick and then we'll continue. Alrighty, so now what I've got is a little bit of a paint scraper. And what I'm gonna do, one of my drawers is coming off, my bad. This desk is kind of old now, so it's doesn't always do what I want it to do. There we go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop some of this gold over here. And then I'm simply gonna dab some of it on here. I'm gonna go whoop, like that. Whoop. Just give it some texture. Kind of slurp it around a bit. Maybe a little bit more. I might put just directly on there so I don't have to fuss with it that much. Slurp. So we still got the flowers in there, but now it's just giving us a little bit more interest, I think. Because we're kind of playing with it a bit. Because, I mean, this is going to be the background, so it's not going to be the focal point. So something like that just makes it kind of interesting. And I like the gold. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and dry some of this with my heat gun because it's pretty wet. So I'll just dry it up just a little bit here. And then we can take a look at our girl and figure out where we want to position her. Do we want her like that? Do we want her kind of over that spot so that it's not really noticeable? So we could do it like this if we wanted to as well. That might be kind of cool. Now, one thing I was kind of thinking of while this is drying some more is what if we were to take some alcohol markers and maybe color her a bit? Like colorize her? I think that could be a little fun. So I'm gonna go ahead and set the painted circle to the side for a second while it's drying more. And then let's kind of do this with her. Now my desk is bumpy, so I don't want to pick up those bumps. So what I might do is take a book or something, or here we go. Here is a piece of cardboard that we can put underneath her, and then we can maybe play with coloring her a bit. So I do have several types of coloring markers, and I think the set that I want to use with this are going to be my art shuttle ones, so art markers. So let's take a look here and see what we've got. And to test different colors, I think it would be a good idea to take out a little card here because we only get one shot. This is the only one I've got of her. So we don't want to mess her up too bad. Let's see. So this kind of looks like a bit of a tan color. So that one's peachy. It's a pretty peach color because she looks kind of like a peach. person to me. Let's try number 25 and see what that looks like. That's more of a pinky peach. So we got that color. We've also got number 6. What's number 6 gonna do for us? Wow, I can't even see that one. Oh, okay, so that one's too pink. I think I'm gonna go with 25 because I think 25 is gonna look good. So let's go ahead and give this girl some color. Make sure that we're in frame here. Yeah, we are. Okay. So I'm just gonna like color her in real quick. I'm just gonna use this as my base color. We are gonna bring this girl back to life, I think. And I am going to go back with other colors over top of her, so it's not just going to be this color. Okay, let's take this one. This was that bit of pink. So I just add a little bit of the tan one in there, and I'm just gonna re-go over it with the pink again, just to kind of help lighten it up a bit. Not an expert at this, so hopefully it turns out, but either way I think it's gonna look nice. Whoa, that's pink. We don't want pink. Anything I put in here, I'm just going back over. I am not the best person at skins. So I will say a great video to watch is Dee Dee Willingham. Just on her last episode she did on Wednesday, she went over like coloring faces and stuff. So like mine is very basic, I would say, super basic. But if you want a great person to learn from, Dee Dee is going to be great at that. And then her dress, let's see, maybe we could, oh, let's do her hair too. Maybe let's start out with a gold for her hair and then go from there. And then add some browns to it. So I'm just adding like a yellowy gold color first. There we go. Now, I'm gonna be careful because that paper is really thin, so it's wanting to come up. And then I'm gonna pop a little bit of brown in there. Just give her some detail. Something like that. That looks rather nice. And then maybe for her dress, we could do that like a green. Just because we've already got a lot of pinks in there, so now we need something else. Like maybe that color would be pretty. Start out with that and then darken it up with others. So all we're doing is we're just colorizing her. Give her some nice Eastery vibes. And I think also like sticking with these more pastel vibes are gonna give her a more vintage feel too, because she is vintage and we want to keep that age with her. She's just a really cute little girl. Now, one thing I will have to be careful about is originally I'd said I was going to put matte medium on this. Now I can't because it will move with watercolor, or with these like alcohol markers, because when alcohol markers get wet, they try to blend a lot. So I don't think that's going to work now. Uh-oh. Marker's starting to die. It's not good. Okay, it's starting to come back a little bit. We're gonna try. So let's find a different marker because that one's starting to go. Let's try This could be okay for some of the ruffles. So there's like a collar here. What I'm gonna do is I'm actually just gonna use this screen to darken it up a bit. And we'll go through and detail it a bit because that other green unfortunately died. So we're gonna darken her up with this one. And then maybe we can go through and re-add the details with colored pencil. Be really careful because I don't want to get her fingers. Now one of the things, notice I didn't glue her down first before I start coloring her, and that's because if you do that, you're gonna ruin it. Whenever I've tried to do that in the past, what it does is it'll actually, like, you get bumps from the glue, sometimes your collage will rip, and I like using really old ephemera that's thin most of the time, so it's just not really good for the ephemera either. I'm gonna try to go with the waves of the dress here so it doesn't look quite so scribbled in. But yeah, you will definitely ruin it if you do that. Not looking too shabby so far. Make sure that I'm staying in frame here. Yeah, this marker is a lot more juicy, so I think this one's gonna work a lot better. Okay, so it looks a lot better. I'm gonna hit this with the heat gun. Well, actually, it looks like her arms could use a little bit more color to them. think that looks better. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and hit that with the heat gun to dry it up a bit, and then we're gonna try to go over it with some marker, or I mean not with marker, with colored pencil a little bit, so we get in some of those details. Okay, she is dry now. So then let's get a colored pencil or something to try to go into these little details a little bit more. We could do this one. So I'm just gonna lightly go over little lines. It's gonna be too light. Let's see. Maybe we can do it with another marker. I'm just going over the lines that are already there, not doing anything more. So I really like the original picture, so I do want it to still have life. But I also want to be able to see the detailing. And this will kind of blend in together anyway, because the alcohol markers. And we're just adding more to what is already there. Okay. So I think that looks really good, and I think that more is gonna fit what we were going for here. There we go. Something like that. I think that looks pretty good. And then by now, this should be okay. So what we can do is we'll pop her down there, see how it goes. Oops. Maybe that's not quite dry yet. Okay. Goodness. Certainly sat there long enough. Let's go ahead and hit that with the heat gun again then. I want her right about there. Like that. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get some glue on her. If I can get my glue bottle open. Just like that. And then I'm just gonna do my normal circles. Okay, so she is all nice and goopy now. And then I'm just gonna lay her down gently. And I'm gonna get a new towel here. Sometimes when I know that something is very brittle, like I know she is brittle, instead of using a scraper, I will push it down with a paper towel. Because sometimes that prevents it from sticking up. Because she is so brittle, she will break if I scrape over her. We don't want that. Because we spent a lot of time on her. And she's cute. We want to keep her the way she is. Okay. So now we've got her there. Like that. And then now I want to do the flowers. So I'm thinking I'm gonna actually cut that flower off and maybe use it on the other side. Something like that, and then maybe we can actually just plop this one back here like this. And we can even move it over and cut off the edge if we wanted. So if I move it like that, then I can just cut off this little round right here. It's gonna fit on the page. Something like that, and then we can sneak this rose here like that. Okay, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. So let's glue down this singular rose first. this is also from, you know, old ephemera that we're reusing. I like reusing ephemera. Okay. So I'm gonna pop that down like that. Just gently. Like that. And then make sure it stays down. Because I'm gonna pop that over it like that. Yeah, I think that's gonna be really cute. This looks like it was from an old newspaper or something. Pop it down here. Yeah, it's gonna look nice. Hold down the parts that don't want to behave. And I think we need something up here, like maybe a butterfly or something. I don't know if I have any butterfly stickers. I might. Let me see. So we could do like a sticker there or something. Let's see. Butterflies. Butterflies. I might have some. This one. These are kind of shinier stickers. I'll keep that in mind. Let's see. Something bigger than those. That's a pretty butterfly that could work in one spot. So, let's see what else is in here. Ooh, wait a second. I have an old insect book I could use. So I've got these. I've got birds and I've got insects. Let's try insects and see if we can find a cool butterfly. Let's see. Bees. The life of the locust. Oh, it's a cicada. That's pretty, but I don't know if that quite goes with what we're doing. Maybe. That butterfly is too dark. There's a monarch butterfly. Maybe a Luna moth wouldn't look bad. I don't know. We'll think about that one. Let's see what we've got in these birds. Let's see what else we got. I love that cardinal. I'm gonna have to use that in one of these at some point. Let's see. Just looking to see if there are any springy birds in here. These are gonna be too modern looking, I think. So we're gonna go with this Luna moth, I think. This Luna moth's really pretty. We've got two of them to work with. So we've got that one. And that one. So maybe we can see one moth going towards the flowers and then the other one just flying. That'd be kind of cool. So I'm just gonna fussy cut this real quick. So let's put this one flying towards the flowers because maybe that's what she's looking at. I think that looks cute. And then we can go ahead and get our other little Luna moth here. And then do this one like over here. That's cute. maybe we could find some cute stamps to work with this. Like, because I still feel like it's not quite finished. I don't know. Let's see if there's any other things in here that might work. Not really. That's not going to be a good sticker book for this. What about this one? No. I think we're going to go with stamps. Let's try and see if I can find some stamps. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I did find a couple of stamps I think could work. I found some like vintage looking keys and the word love, which I really like. And then I also found this like really cool dragonfly. So I really would like that too. So I'm gonna go ahead and take out the dragonfly first. No. It's kind of hard to get out of there. I will do it though. There we go. Right, so I got that, and I really want this dragonfly. Because I was thinking that might look really cool right underneath her. So I'm gonna do, I'm not really affluent with this kind of stamp, but we're gonna try our best to get it all up in there. Looks pretty stampy. Okay. So then I was thinking I would maybe put it this way, and I'm gonna use this to brick it down. Okay, and then I'm gonna peel it up and see what happens. Oh no. Oh no. It's peeling up the paint, guys. This is not good. Okay. So stamp was a bad idea, apparently. Oh dear. So we did get something interesting in there, but unfortunately it popped up our paint. So that would have looked really cool had the paint been dried. I thought it would have been dried by now, I'm sorry. So we're gonna have to find a cute way to fix it, maybe with some flowers. So let's see here. I'm not done with you. We're not gonna count that as bad yet, but we know not to use these other stamps yet. So let's see here. We are not gonna let that get us. So hold on 1 second while I try to find something we can fix it with. Let's see. Might use a doily on that too. I know I've got some like little flowers in here. I've got lots of die cuts and stuff. I'm looking in one of my boxes to see if I can find. I have these like little flowers I can glue on it to try to hide that. Or we can even just pop something over it in general. That's not really going to be big enough. Okay. Let's see. I wonder if it would do it up there too. This feels dry. I'm going to also try it up here with the love because I still do want this love up there. So I'm just going to test it and see what it does. Here I am playing with fire, I guess. It'll be okay. I have faith in us. We have faith in each other, though. Let's find out. Because like I said, I'm not going to count that as ruined yet. Because we've done a lot of hard work on our circle. We're not going to let that defeat us. This love stamp is the other one that I wanted, so I'm just going to do that real quick and see if it is going to be mean to us as well. And you know, it could be. See, that one did what I wanted it to. I think this one I just stuck down too hard. So that one is fine. And then goodness. Maybe a key. We'll do this one. And instead of bricking it down like with that brick, I'm just gonna pop it really quick and pull it off. Pop. Pull it off like that. That's what it should have done with that dragonfly. So what I might do is I might use that dragonfly one more time, but up there. Let's see if we can get one that's not going to be quite so cruel to us. So now we've got two little spots where because I did pick it up. So it's something about that dragonfly that's not doing it right. Not doing what we want it to do. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll just fix it. It'll be fine. Nobody will ever know. So let's kind of do our journey with that then. Give me 1 second to pop this back in here. Put my stamps away. Valuable lesson, not pressing too hard on paint that may or may not be dry though. Better it happens to me than you, huh? Okay. So let's see if maybe we can use this lace to help us out a bit. Because maybe we can put it on top of the dragonfly and you might not even notice it. And it'll just look pretty. But we can still see a hint of dragonfly. So that would be pretty cool. So I've got these really pretty pink doilies. Maybe we can try to do something with them. Also got some other like random ones too, so that maybe we can see some more dragonfly through it. I think the pink is going to be too pink, so let's try a regular doily instead. Let's see what we've got here. Anything we can do to see through it a little bit. what I think we can do is we can get away with being funny with doilies. Because I like having doilies in my artwork anyway, so who's gonna notice? They're just gonna be like, why is there a random doily on here? I don't know, man. Or we could try cutting some of these and see if we can just zhush up the dragonfly like that. And just make it look like it's supposed to be like that. We could do that. That's kind of the fun, dumb thing about art, is if it looks like it's supposed to be there, it is. So let's try it. Could look completely weird and ridiculous, or like it's supposed to be there. We're gonna go with, it's supposed to be there. What are you talking about? I don't see any error. This is one of those, this is fine moments. We'll just say that that is a lacy dragonfly. And I do still want to pop some flowers around that because I think it would be really pretty with flowers. So I'm gonna look in my little goodie bag here and see what I've got. So I know I've got some like little flowers in here somewhere that are kind of like pinky colors, so I think it would look good with that. These. So I think these are gonna look okay with it. And we'll just kind of be a little extra with it to take away from where we made a mistake at, and nobody will notice. I think some of these greeny looking flowers are gonna look pretty with that because we've got green in her dress. So I'm gonna grab some of these for sure. And maybe we can put one here so that this dragonfly is going towards that. Or I kind of like that there. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna pop these little green flowers on there because I like them. And that's enough of a reason why, you know? I know I keep saying it, but I really need to fill up my glue soon. I don't know, we're just gonna pop this right there. I do think I'm only going to use these green ones because I don't want it to get too cluttered. And I really like how it matches her dress. So I'm not gonna varnish this one. It's like I said, I used alcohol markers. I really don't want to test that because I feel like that's gonna be a bad idea. So I'm just gonna do that instead. Yeah, something like that. So I think this is really pretty and I'm still pretty happy with it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a black Posca and I'm just gonna do a little heart with my initials and the date. Like that. And then later on I'll probably black it and I might do a little border around it. I don't know yet. Like a little border around, that would look pretty. So there's that one. So that was the bigger art circle. Okay, so this is the other art circle that I have with Mason's grandmother's teacher. Mason's my husband, in case you don't know who that is. And with this one, I was going to use these flowers, and I liked these butterflies. Mason's grandmother loved butterflies. Butterflies were her jam. So I feel like if she were to see this, she would, you know, have really appreciated it. So let's see here. Mason's grandmother is, of course, not with us anymore. This is his grandma Hickson, who passed away a couple years ago. So let's get butterflying. Maybe we'll use that. Some more scrappy scraps of this one. Do about 4 on this one, like that. Okay. And then the rest of those butterfly scraps we'll just put in my scrap papers. To use later. So let's go ahead, zoom in a little bit, maybe not that much. Here we go. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start my gluing here. Pop her down. Ooh, my fingers are getting sticky again. Go. Pop it like that. And then I've got this little piece here. this much bigger piece, which will be the corner here. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. And what I was thinking for this is we need some teals, maybe. I think that might look nice, some teals. So I've got this color teal, and then I've also got this kind of like shimmer. I thought maybe some shimmer might look good in there. So I'll just go ahead and plop those two down over here. There we go. And we'll just kind of go for it. Ooh, that's a very pretty color. I wonder, I remember one time we had a conversation with the Hicksons, and they were telling us about how they were taught how to write, which was really cool. There would be a giant classroom with children of multiple ages, and they would be practicing all at once. So I think that's kind of cool. And it was really interesting, like their handwriting was far superior to Mason and mine. But mostly because they told us, you know, whenever they would mess up, they would get in trouble for it. Not saying that that's the right way to do it at all, but they would get kind of punished for it, it kind of sounded like. Because they were, you know, like whenever you think of like Tom Sawyer type schooling with like a ruler and stuff, they said it was kind of like that. Which is kind of interesting, just how far we've come. So we no longer really do that to children. And, you know, they were fine people, wonderful people, really. Miss them a lot. But it was just kind of funny because they would talk about stuff like that in Mason, and I would just sit there and listen for hours and hours. They were just so fun to talk to about, you know, all the different things they'd seen in their lives. Like one of the things that they told us was flat brooms were actually invented by the Amish, they said. Because originally everybody had rounded brooms, and then one guy was like, hey, this actually works a lot better for me. Everybody liked it, so they just kind of went with it. If that's a true story, then that's really cool. Yeah, they were full of all kinds of cool stories like that. And then I remember my husband got them an Alexa, and that was an experience, because what they would do is they would, you know, ask it questions to see if it would have what they considered was the right answers. So it was funny. Alexa had no idea she was the one that was being quizzed, not the other way around. And I really liked their Alexa. Like they would do like the joke of the morning, or like sometimes they would want Mason and I to listen to a song from their childhood. So they would ask the Alexa to play it, and it was really cool. Because, you know, maybe the way they explained the song didn't quite sound like the song, so then they would have the Alexa play it, and Alexa, of course, would have it in her database, and then we could hear it. So it was pretty cool. They were not shy about technology, that's for sure. Like, I would say they were simple in that, you know, they just had what they wanted. They had what they needed, you know? But, like, when people showed them different things, they were very apt to learning it. My grandparents were the same, of course, but... because this is her Grandma Hickson's teacher, I wanted to talk about Grandma Hickson. There we go. I think that's pretty, and it has like a nice like sheen to it in a way. Okay, so give me a moment and I'm just gonna go clean my fingies and I will be right back. Okay, so my hands are washed and I have hit this with a heat gun a bit. So I was thinking about plopping her right in the middle there. I think she'd look really pretty there. So that's what I'm gonna do. Go ahead and glue this. And she is a bit thick because she was glued onto poster board already and I could not get the poster board out from behind her. So she just gonna be a thick girl. And that's gonna be okay. Because we are okay with thick ladies here. So we're just gonna pop her down and I'm gonna hold her for a while because these poster board ones are not easy to get settled. They like to kind of curl. So I'm just gonna hold her for a minute. I'm counting in my head to hold down for at least a minute. Okay, I think that'll be all right. I'll wipe up some of that excess glue. And then I was thinking with her that we could use some of these really pretty, I don't know what these are, irises maybe? They were originally part of a birthday card, it looks like, but it's all right. I thought maybe those could be a really pretty drop for her. Oh, hell, I didn't know we could do that. Okay. It looks like we've got 2 irises, so we can have them on each side probably. So I'm just gonna cut this out a little bit. Fussy cut the edges. I'm not the biggest fan of fussy cutting, but if I need to, I can get her done. There we go, something like that. And maybe we can put it on her side like this. Now, one thing I'm gonna have to keep in mind is she's a little bit thicker than the paper, so it is gonna raise a little bit, and that's gonna be okay. But I do think that that would look quite lovely. Uh-oh, our side over here is popping up like I said it would. Some of these older pictures are a little difficult. There we go. So yeah, that's pretty, and then we'll cut out this side to do the same. Probably won't use that pink one, but I think the purple on through the yellow would look good. I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of that pink one. Kind of look at how that might look like this. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. Pink pony clip stuck on my head again. Goodness. Might have been in that video that I had to delete, but in one of the songs it was stuck in my head, so I sang for a minute to you. You're probably like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy I missed that. Okay. So let's see what something like that would look like. Oh yes, that's going to be quite lovely. I think that'll give this young lady something beautiful to have. And then we can mess with up there. Might also help her stay down a bit because she's popping up pretty badly on that one side. It's the only bad thing about those cardboard backs. I wonder if I can. I bought some like cementy stuff. Let's see here. Maybe I can put some of that underneath her shoulder to help it stay down. There we go. Just hold her down. Really liked the look of this pink doily, so I might do something like that just to kind of keep it symmetrical. I like it. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Something like that. And then we definitely need some like something. Maybe we can do flowers for her too, because we can keep them similar. They're both supposed to be springy and Eastery. I might give this one to my mother-in-law since it was her mom's teacher. I think she might appreciate that. Let's see. I have these flowers again, which we could use, but I don't know about that. Oh, this is pretty. Is that on something, or is it just something? This little pearly flower might be pretty. Let's see what else we got here. Oh. I don't know about that one. Let's see. Oh, here's another butterfly. This could be pretty. A yellow butterfly. And it's like another flower. Maybe we could put that one there. Butterfly here and that there. That could be nice. Let's do that. Give it just a little bit of a 3D element, and then we can, I was thinking we could write this lady's name on the back of it, or maybe with her, something like that. Maybe with a black Posca. her name was Annie Mosley. Annie Mosley, my teacher. I wonder if we can just cut off the handwriting, or cut it off and glue that on. That'd be pretty cool. Maybe put this underneath her. This way it'll be really cool because it'll have Grandma Hickson's handwriting on it. And then I think this is ready to be signed. Here we go. All right. So with that, we made two really cool pieces of artwork today. We made this picture of Annie Mosley, and then we also made a sweet little girl. So even though, you know, we messed up here and there on the little girl at least, you know, we were able to save what we messed up. And one of the things I like that one of the artists that I watch, her name's Denise Love, she says if it's a mistake, make it look like you did it on purpose. So I think we did a pretty good job of that. And then what I will do probably off camera at some point is I will make the backs of these black and then put a gold outline around them, because I think that would really tie everything together. But I do think that these turned out awesome. So thank you so much for watching, and I really appreciate you.